Welcome back to Character Conversions, where I try to bring fictional characters to life in D&D. Today we build the former leader of the Ten Commandments and captain of the Seven Deadly Sins, Dragon Sin of Wrath, Meliodas. Before we get started, I will note that in the 3.5 edition of D&D, there was a 7th level spell called Spell Turning. It would allow you to reflect a single target spell back at its caster. The spell doesn't exist in 5e, which is a shame because it is basically full counter. With that in mind, we'll be using an alternative method to deal damage back when attacked. I just wanted to make it clear that there is not really a way to perfectly replicate full counter anymore, so do not expect it. On with the build. For stats, we'll be using the standard array of the player's handbook divided up as you see here. Our important stats are Dexterity for our blade work, Charisma for our magic, and Constitution to take the unholy beatings we do. For race, it should be a surprise to no one that we are going with Tiefling, specifically a Feral Tiefling. This will increase our Dexterity by 2 and our Intelligence by 1 to 17 and 9 respectively. We have Dark Vision out to 60 feet, Hellish Resistance gives us resistance to fire damage, Infernal Legacy gives us the Thaumaturgy cantrip, at 3rd level we will have Hellish Rebuke, one possible stand-in for a full counter, and at 5th level we gain the Darkness spell. Think of it as expanding our darkness out from our body. Finally, we gain Common and Infernal as languages. For background, we'll be going with Outlander, with us being an exile from the demon race. This gives us proficiency with Athletics and Survival. We gain 1 music instrument, but using Tasha's proficiency swaps, I recommend swapping it out for brewer supplies. We gain additional language. Let's go with Celestial to get to know the original Elizabeth. And for our feature, we gain Wanderer, allowing us to always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around us. In addition, we will be able to provide food and water for ourselves and up to 5 people so long as the GM deems the land capable of supplying. For class, we'll be starting out in Fighter. This gives us a D10 hit die, proficiency with Strength and Constitution saves. For skills, let's pick up Insight and Perception. Finally, we have proficiency with all types of armor and weapons. First level fighters gain a fighting style and second wind. For our fighting style, we want Superior Technique. This lets us choose one maneuver from Battlemaster and gives us 1d6 superiority die. We want to grab Riposte, allowing us to use our reaction to attack a target that has missed us, and add the superiority die to the attack's damage rolls. This is half of our best full counter technique. Finally, Second Wind will allow us to restore hit points equal to 1d10 plus our fighter level as a bonus action. As a second level fighter, we gain Action Surge, allowing us to take an additional action each short or long rest. Third level in fighter means we choose our martial archetype. We want to be able to riposte more than once, so we will be going with Battlemaster. This grants us combat superiority, giving us 4d8s of superiority die, and we learn 3 more maneuvers. You can choose whatever you think you will get the most mileage out of. For me though, I'll be taking Bait and Switch, Disarming Attack, and Pushing Attack. Finally, we gain Student of War, granting us proficiency with one type of Artisan's tool of our choice. Pick whatever suits your campaign or playstyle. 4th level is our first ability score improvement. We will trade this for the Resilient feat, increasing our Dexterity by +1 to an 18 and giving us proficiency with Dexterity saving throws. As a 5th level fighter, we gain Extra Attack. Now when we take the attack action, we can make 2 attacks instead of 1. 6th level fighters gain another ability score improvement. We will trade this for another feat, this time picking up Infernal Constitution. This will increase our Constitution by +1 to a 14, and give us resistance to poison and cold damage, and also give us advantage on saves against being poisoned. At 7th level, we are going to jump over to Paladin now. This gives us Divine Sense and Lay on Hands. Divine Sense allows us to, as an action, number of times equal to 1 plus our Charisma modifier, detect the presence of Celestials, Fiends, or Undead within 60 feet, so long as they aren't behind total cover. Lay on Hands allows us to replenish a number of hit points equal to 5 times our Paladin level each long rest. Combine this with Second Wind to just keep going. 8th level and our 2nd level in Paladin grants us another fighting style, Divine Smite, and 1st level spells. For our fighting style, we will grab Defense to increase our AC by +1 so long as we are wearing armor. I recommend the House Rule by Monarch's Factory that increases your AC if you are wielding a shield or wearing armor, and by +2 if both. Divine Smite is what we are here for. This allows us to expend a spell slot when we hit with an attack to deal an additional 2d8 radiant damage. The damage is increased by 1d8 for each spell level higher than first to a maximum of 5d8. And if the target is Undead or Fiend, the damage is increased by an additional 1d8 to a maximum of 6d8. Combine this with Riposte to make an enemy regret targeting you. Finally, Paladin gives us 2 first level spell slots. We'll be using these for smiting most often, but spells like Compelled Duel and Shield of Faith will still find use. 9th level we will be swapping classes yet again, this time over to Sorcerer. This gives us a d6 hit die, and for our bloodline, because we are the Dragon Sin of Wrath, let's go with Draconic Bloodline. Red or gold is most thematic for fire damage. Next we gain Draconic Resilience, granting us an additional 1 hit point per Sorcerer level, and our AC, while not wearing armor, is equal to 13 plus our Dexterity modifier. For cantrips we will grab Blade Ward, Control Flames, Firebolt, and Green Flame Blade. Green Flame Blade is of course black instead and represents our Hellblaze technique. For our first level spells, let's grab Featherfall and Shield. 10th level and 2nd level in Sorcerer grants us Font of Magic and another first level spell. Font of Magic grants us a number of sorcery points equal to our level, and currently we are able to turn them into spell slots, or turn spell slots into sorcery points. For our first level spell, we will pick up Jump, like Featherfall, another anime mobility spell. Our 3rd level in Sorcerer grants us Meta Magic and our first 2nd level spell. For Meta Magic, we will pick up Quicken Spell and Twin Spell. Quicken Spell is quite important for our build as it ensures we can cast a spell and still attack with our sword. For our 2nd level spell, we will grab Cloud of Daggers, which in my opinion is how we represent 1000 Divine Cuts. 4th level in Sorcerer is our next ability score improvement. We want to pick up Warcaster. This gives us advantage on Constitution saves to maintain concentration. We can perform somatic components with weapons or a shield in our hands, and when a creature provokes an attack of opportunity, we can use a spell with a casting time of 1 action in place of the attack, so long as we target only that creature. Next we gain 1 cantrip and a 2nd level spell. For a cantrip we'll pick up Sword Burst, and for our 2nd level spell we will grab Blur for added defense. It requires concentration, so I normally recommend Mirror Image instead, but because it gives disadvantage, it increases the odds of our foes missing us and letting us get off a riposte. 13th level and our 5th level in Sorcerer is our first 3rd level spell. We'll grab Counterspell to represent his Counter Vanish power. As a 6th level Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer, we gain Elemental Affinity and a 3rd level spell. Elemental Affinity allows us to add our Charisma modifier to the damage of any spell that deals fire damage. For our 3rd level spell, we will pick up Fly, allowing us to finally form our darkness into wings and take to the sky. 7th level sorcerers gain access to 4th level spells. Not a whole lot feels like Meliodas at this level, so we'll grab Fire Shield. Any creature hitting us in melee will take some damage, so it has a light full counter theme to it. If you want, you could drop back down to 1st level and pick up Magic Missile to represent his Trillion Dark ability. 16th level and our 8th level in Sorcerer is our next ability score improvement. We'll drop this one into our Charisma, raising it to a 16. We also gain another 4th level spell, but we will instead drop back down to 2nd level for this and pick up Mirror Image for some added defense, and the benefit of being able to sort of imitate the clone ability of Lost Vein. 17th level is our first 5th level spell. For this though, we will again dip down into 2nd level and pick up Shadow Blade. If you're worried about us giving up our higher level spells for lower level ones, just remember, a lot of our spell slots are expected to be being used for Divine Smites anyway, so it's more important that we pick up spells we think we will actually use, rather than just grabbing the ones that are higher level. Our 10th level in Sorcerer grants us another metamagic option, 1 cantrip, and another 5th level spell. Pick whatever metamagic option you think fits your campaign, as we already have the ones we need. For our cantrip, we will grab Booming Blade, and for our 5th level spell we will grab Far Step for more anime levels of speed. 19th level and our 11th level in Sorcerer grants us a 6th level spell. I actually think Globe of Invulnerability would fit the theme, as being able to stop any 5th level or lower spell from affecting you is definitely a Meliodas-like technique. Problem is the globe doesn't move, and we aren't a ranged fighter. So perhaps consider a spell like Investiture of Flame. It sticks to our theme of Hellfire-based magic, gives us immunity to fire, and any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet takes 1d10 fire damage. Also gives us a 15-foot-long line attack if we need one. Pick whichever you think works for you. 28th level, the capstone of our build, is our final ability score improvement. We'll drop this into our Charisma, raising it to an 18. End result sees us with an average of 142 hit points, with an AC of 17 without armor. We can bump this to 19 using a shield. While Meliodas isn't seen using a shield in later seasons, in the first season's climactic battle we see him use his sheath like a parrying dagger, and I count that as a shield. Finally, we have the shield spell, which can give us a +5 bonus to AC, making it up to 24. Problem is, doing that means no riposte. We use a short sword or scimitar for damage, meaning we'll average about 7 damage a hit, 15 damage a round, with extra attack. Action Surge means we can deal 30 damage if we are particularly lucky, and there is nothing stopping us from using our smites on our regular attacks as well, though using them on a riposte will deal slightly more damage. Full attacks with a full power smite average about 120 in a round. Granted, we will be spending some spell slots poorly in that equation, but if you put the enemy down, who cares? There are 2 magic items you should keep an eye out for that really bring this build home: a Ring of Spell Turning and a Ring of Evasion. The rare Ring of Evasion will let you automatically succeed on a dex save using one of its 3 charges. It's like legendary resistance against spells. The legendary Spell Turning Ring, though, gives you advantage on saves against spells that target only you. And if you roll a natural 20 and the spell is 7th level or lower, you can actually reflect the spell back at the caster. This is, to my knowledge, the absolute closest you can get to full counter. Now the 2 items don't overlap, but if I were the GM and my player wanted to use a charge from the Ring of Evasion to set off his Ring of Spell Turning, I would allow it. This combo takes 2 of your attunement slots, and 3 guaranteed spell turnings is pretty cool. Plus it nerfs the Evasion Ring while simultaneously buffing the Ring of Spell Turning, as even if the player were to succeed on their save, they may burn the use of a Ring of Evasion to reflect it back. It will be like if they rolled a natural 20 on their save and still lost a charge on their ring. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment your opinions or suggestions for new builds. I hope all your 20s are natural, and I'll see you next time.